Hi, welcome to the Rural Project. In this video I pull this mess of trees down this hill and prep it all ready for firewood. Hi, welcome to the Rural Project. In today's video you'll see me working my way through some of the wood above the turning circle. So all of these videos and photographs come from 2019. They come from between March and June 2019, so you will see the weather conditions change quite drastically from the heat of the back end of summer into early winter. So what I'm doing here, I'm working through all the wood that is that's been pushed up above the turning circle. You'll see it in some of the later photographs. What I have to do is work my way through all of this, pulling it down into an area where I can work on it, and then as you'll see here, cutting it up into blocks for firewood, and then putting it through the splitter and stacking. I've been working on this for quite a long time, and there's still a lot of wood to go through. Once it's all been bucked to length, I pass it all through a log splitter, and then stack and store it, as you can see here. Once I'm completed with these, they get a tin lid on them, and that keeps the wood out of the weather and helps it dry out even more. So most of the wood that I'm working my way through is pretty big, and it needs bucking to length and then splitting, but a fair bit of it is quite small. So I set up the chainsaw on a little cheap eBay saw bench, and cut a whole heap of firewood and a load of kindling using that setup. Once you get going on it, it's pretty quick, and yeah, you certainly do get through a lot of firewood during the day. After a little bit of work, as you can see here, we've got a full trailer load of wood, and there's another image here showing exactly why I always wear gloves when I'm doing this work. I picked up an old brick, and underneath it was what we call a redback, and in America I think they call them a black widow. Anyway, one bite from that and you're going to be pretty poorly, and might even end up in hospital. It's a tiny little spider, but it's certainly got a punch. So what I'd done is I'd broken the area where all the trees had been pushed over into sections, and what you can see here is the first section that was complete. So the image here you see on the right hand side, all the trees and branches have been pulled down and it's clear, and then on the left you see all the area that I've still got to work my way through. And then as we look through some of these next images, you'll see just what a mess this pile of trees is. All of the branches now were all just bulldozed into a single location. I've taken all the easy pickings, and yeah, I'm really sort of left now with a big jumbled pile of sticks, and I am bringing in the chains and the four-wheel drive to help pull them down. So as you see, I set up a pulley block system, and it's hard work up and down the hill, dragging the rope behind me, and yeah, connecting it into a few branches at a time and pulling them down. And then also getting the winch involved to actually winch some of these branches down, but it's a very slow process, very time consuming, pretty exhausting running up and down the hill. You don't really get to see the steepness of the hill from these photographs and video. In some of my later videos you'll see that I've bought myself a capstan winch, little petrol powered capstan winch. I really wished I'd had that when I was doing this task, but I didn't have it. I had to get the work done, so yeah, it was a combination of four-wheel drive and winch power to drag all of this stuff down. So once a lot of that wood was cut up, and as you can see on a much sunnier day, I set about sort of stacking it. As you see here, I didn't split this wood. I actually just stacked it in rounds, just stored it over out the way so that I had more space, because I was basically building up a huge pile of wood at the bottom of the hill that I dragged down and bucked up, and everything was just on top of each other. So I pulled it all out the way and created myself some space. And of course, once I got some space, I can then pull some more wood down into the same area and continue that same process over and over again. So it looks like a very simple process, doesn't it? Where you stick your rope or your chain around some of the biggest branches you can put your hands on, and then connect them up to your car and just drag it down the hill, and As that comes down, it'll drag all the other smaller bits with it. However, it's not quite like that. You connect up to a tree, you start pulling, you then realise that one of the big branches is snagged onto something else, and you go up there with your chainsaw, you cut that branch, you then come back down, get in the car, set off going again. It just goes on and on and on for hours and hours and hours doing this. Maybe if I had the my excavator that I've got now, or if I had a much more powerful, like a small bulldozer or something like that, where you could connect a chain to and just pull every branch out the way that you need to, it would have been great. But again, didn't have those tools at hand at that point, so I needed to use the tools I had, which meant that this took a long time and was very slow. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, Nick. You wander up there now. Keep going. As you can see here, I'm getting into the smaller branches now. So I keep doing this for quite a while until all the branches of this sort of size are all pulled down, all stuff that'll be useful for firewood, and I'm left with all the scraps and bits up the hill. So what we then do, and this is in a future video, we have a burn off on the hill. Basically get a heap of the rubbish piled up in the middle, get the fire going, and then spend the day walking around that fire and throwing all the smaller pieces onto it. It's pretty much the only way of getting rid of everything that's left at that point, apart from dragging every single piece down the hill and putting it through the chipper. So having a fire was a much easier option. And as you drag down all that wood, what you also drag down is an awful lot of scrappy pieces of wood, lots of bark. So we got the chipper out and worked our way through that just to chip it up and get rid of it, put it back onto the turning circle. So that's it for this video. Tune in to the next one where you'll see us go through the burn off and get all this cleared properly. And if you enjoyed this one, please click like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.